stuff that was dismissed prior. The same merits are in this complaint. So I'm going to reaffirm our previous action to dismiss with prejudice.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilwoman Bearkiller. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks?
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk?
No.
Garfield Apple?
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons? Lydia Bearkiller?
Yes.
James Cross? Sonia Littlehawk Weston?
Ha.
Vincent Tulance?
Yes.
Craig Dillon?
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse?
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian?
Here.
Ryan Jumping Eagle?
No.
Bo Little White Man?
Yes.
Chauncey Wilson?
No.
Philip Goodcrow?
Oh.
Randy Laisbed?
Not voting.
Richard Greenwald?
Yes.
Nikina Mills?
No.
Yes, 5 no, 2 not voting. Motion carried. Your second motion, Mr. Dillon?
My second motion will refer this issue to the Law and Order Committee, and I think we need to have a response within 30 days if these recommendations from the Chief Judge are going to be followed or not. That's my motion.
Okay, Mr. Councilman Dillon, so can you please be specific on which issue is going to Law and Order?
For the issue that was responded to by the Chief Judge, the recommendations that he made in this.
So the documentation for the record from the Chief Judge Charles Aberesk in regards to Charles Montello to be referred back to Law and Order Committee.
Yes.
Okay, we got a motion.
And it's to be addressed within 30 days.
Within a 30-day time frame. Okay.
Yes.
I got a second by Councilman Gibbons. Mr. Yellowhawk?
Yes. How could you dismiss the case, upheld it, and refer it back to Law and Order for review?
Councilman Yellowhawk, that was why the clarification was the complaint that was brought forward by Mr. Aberesk is what the council just reaffirmed that this was already dismissed with prejudice. But however, in this response from the Chief Judge, there was some actions that he asked Mr. Aberesk to comply with, which that issue is being forwarded to Law and Order Committee and asked for a response back in regards to what the Chief Judge has brought forward.
So you're asking ethical questions, violations probably?
It's the directives that a supervisor gave the associate judge. Make sure that those are followed up within 30 days and that the Law and Order Committee will, it'll be brought back to Law and Order within 30 days.
So in other words, is a directive that was issued by the Chief Judge, were they appropriate? Or is the associate judge need to comply with all of them? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Okay, and then the attorney also, I need to correct what I just said. So these motions that are happening right now, this complaint against the Chief Judge Charles Aberesk from Associate Judge Montello, this complaint is the one that there was action taken in the last tribal council, which was dismissed with prejudice. So we are reaffirming that dismissal with prejudice. The second is the documentation from the Chief Judge Aberesk regarding the Associate Judge Montelo and the recommendations that he asked him to comply with in regards to his employment. So I have a motion and a second. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks. Dwayne Yellowhawk.
Yes.
Garfield Apple. Glenn Gibbons.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross. Sonia Littlehawk Weston. Vincent Tulance.
Yes.
Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Here.
Ryan Jumping Eagle.
Yes.
Bo Little White Man.
Yes.
Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow.
Oh.
Randy Laisbed.
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
Nakina Mills.
Yes.
Seventeen yes, 1 no, motion carried. Councilman Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, we've been hounding on this for several years now about filling that ethics committee, and it really needs done. So I'm going to motion that it be advertised for 2 weeks and brought back at February's meeting to fill that ethics committee. That's my motion.
I got a motion. You said second? Second by Councilwoman Merdanian. Councilwoman Merdanian.
Also, know that there are applicants for the ethics, and those applications have been sitting there within the Secretary's office. And so maybe following up and finding those applications for the Ethics Commission.
Councilwoman Littlehawk Weston.
You know, I just kind of wanted to ask, we did put it on the agenda at the beginning of the agenda when we approved the agenda, but now we're adding it onto the agenda. So I guess with that being said, we need to open up the agenda back up to put on the Ethics Committee. So is this not on the agenda now?
Understood. Councilman Wilson?
This is just part of the ongoing conversation we're having and dealing. We wouldn't even be dealing with this if it went through the ethics committee to begin with. So it just, we need to fill them seats. It's been recommended by this body time and time again, and it needs to go to an ethics committee. That way, if there is viable cause, it does come to this committee for a reason. We just need to say yes or no and bring in the committee back. It's part of the conversation of what's going on, the complaints.
Councilwoman Little.
I mean, I agree that if they're ready, the Secretary could just bring it on. Well, according to the Constitution, this body has the authority over the judges, not the ethics. So judges' issues will always be in front of us. Thank you.
I guess, yeah, I mean, this kind of opened up a lot of stuff to show us the things that need to be addressed. And we do need this ethics committee. And we also need to address the procedures with the judges and with the tribal council and where we stand in this separation of powers and these procedures that need to be brought about. So, I don't know. Okay. Okay, so I do have, or I'm sorry, Councilwoman Whitehorse.
I was just going to recommend that since they've already been advertised and you do have applications, then why don't you just bring them to the next council meeting under your agenda, the Secretary? That way you don't have to open the agenda and they will be on there next time.
Okay, so you withdraw your motion, Councilman Wilson, okay. Okay, and the attorney did bring forward that Mr. Aberesk, or I'm sorry, Montalvo, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry about that, sir.
I'm a treaty chief, full-blooded Indian. We elected you, sir. Tumushka, you're my nephew. Tumushka, you're my nephew. I am, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not bragging. I am a treaty chief. And if you have Indian blood in you, you are related to me, and you are to represent me. Look at all the white attorneys you have here. You know how much you pay this gentleman right there? $300,000 a year. You know what I get? $50,000. And the court system needs Lakota speakers. Mr. Aberesk is not a Lakota. And when our people come to court, they want to hear their cases in Lakota. Lakota achne bkhelo Lakota Oglala po ni Lakota pelo. I am a treaty man, and today I am very disappointed with each and every one of you. If you want to do something to me, go ahead. Throw me in jail, have the cops shooting, whatever you want. I'm very, very, very angry. I am a treaty chief. I am a treaty chief. I have the treaty documents. And if anyone of you want to say something to me, please do it right now, please. Please do it. Hold me down, I hope the people sitting out there are listening on Kili radio. I hope so. Leon Petuki, Vanalila, Lakota Atiki, Shichao Kaupelo. Le Washito, Ato Stemagalan, he had me removed by police officers. He stole treaty documents. He handled a pipe, sacred pipe, Chanupa, Washito, trash canicta ochbe, and he took my sacred headdress. When it's treaty violations, but this council didn't give me an opportunity to even address them. Oh, I took the vote, yeah, we'll vote right now. Let's go to Charles Mara, yeah. Let's vote for Charles Aberesk. Don't call this the Oglala Sioux tribe. This is the Oglala Washito tribe. It's not Oglala Sioux court either. It's a Charles Aberesk court. I'm resigning. Mitake pilan petuki namiti kompo ektori chasha chalon shicha hoira ona dina mayishon ze kapelo ektori chasha omashike ekun milnakti mitake you my relatives all of you Lakota Gechami. I thought you're Lakota. When you run for office, oh we're Lakota, the kids, this, that. I disagree with you. I do hereby submit my resignation. I have never been this mad before. And also for the record, I want to know who voted against me, okay? My people want to know that. The treaty people want to know who voted against me and who voted for me. We want to know that. We have that right. I did resign. I want nothing to do anymore. If you're going to choose Charles Aberesk, a person who was named in the murder of an Indian woman, that's record. That's national record. If you're going to choose a murderer over Lakota, holy man, I have a headdress. And I do. I'll still respect you, counsel. I respect you. I'll still respect you, but I'm very disappointed in you. But there's a God. He's watching each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. Hear me, make fun of me, whatever you want. He'll give you your due reward, good or bad. It's up to God Almighty. My people, you have made a big mistake today. This is what I'm asking for you. I'm resigning today because I don't want to work with the murderer, Charles Aberesk. You guys favor him, go ahead. I need my money back. I got about 5 or 6 months, whatever, 1 year left. I need my money back because I have a daughter who's brain damaged. I have to support her. I have to support her. I hope you heard that. I have a daughter that's brain damaged, and I have to support her. I need my money back. You give this gentleman $10,000 a year. Well, he's a white man.
Security,
You're giving $300 a year.
get on it.
Let me pray for you. You don't have to come. You don't have to assault me, okay? Give me the leave, so I'm afraid I'm going to go grab him for us. At the contract, I don't want to about me.
Wopila. You know, tribal council, that's kind of the stuff that, you know, I'm talking about. You know, I know, you know, he raised his voice and he got angry. But, you know, to acknowledge him as a chief, you know, if that's who he is, and to afford him as an elder to speak their minds like that, it's hard for us to hear those things, but we have to. That's our obligation to the people. So, you know, with that being said, we're going to move forward now. He prayed for us, you know, he spoke his piece, and we have an agenda to get to. So moving on to number 8, the Aberdeen Area Indian Health Service Pioneer Service Unit Report.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm sorry, Councilman Dillon.
I think I would like to make a motion to accept his resignation. He gave it to us to make it official. That would be my motion, to accept his resignation.
I got a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilwoman Bearkiller. Councilwoman Merdanian.
I asked the motion maker to amend his motion to include that his salary be paid out for the remainder of what is due, whether it's the annual, however it's agreed upon, that his salary, and he did tell us that he has responsibilities he needs to follow through with. So I do request that that motion be amended.
I accept that and approve it. If he's got what he's got coming, we pay him.
Councilwoman Little Hawk Western.
Yeah, I think according to what we read, he was suspended with pay. So,
He should have some leave coming though.
maybe if he has leave, maybe that's what needs to be looked at, or whatever that is owed to him.
Councilwoman Bearkiller.
Okay, so for the record, from the documents we all read, he was suspended with pay. So he should not have no back pay. Okay, and then if he was on a contract, he resigned. So shouldn't resignation make moot that to fulfill that contract? So I think he resigned as of today, he said. So he should not be entitled to compensation to the end of the contract.
Well, what I'm thinking is he should have annual and sick leave. We could turn that over to the executive director, Dean Patton, and have him resolve it. I'll include that in there, just to make sure he's paid up.
Councilman Gibbons.
Thank you, President. You know, we've heard from a gentleman that we've worked with and we've known for a long time. He has served his tribe to the utmost, and because he is upset and raises his voice, I make a motion to table this for further review.
Got a motion to table. I got a second by Councilwoman Mills. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks,
No.
Dwayne Yellowhawk,
No.
Garfield Apple,
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
No.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Here.
Vincent Tulance,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
No.
Cora Whitehorse,
No.
Valentina Merdanian,
Oha.
Ryan Jumping Eagle,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Chauncey Wilson,
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow,
Oh.
Randy Laisbed,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald,
Yes.
Nakina Mills.
Yes.
Eleven yes, 7 no. Motion carried. Ms. Asher?
Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully this is. I emailed the report to everyone for ending in December. As you all know, we've been on a shutdown since then, and it just popped up last Friday. So this was just through the end of December. So we'll have a new report coming out for the shutdown at the end of the month. So the end of December, the annual budget for the entire Pine Ridge Service Unit was $78.8 million, and through December we have expended $20.3 million. That's about 26%. The third-party collections, we are only collecting about 23% right now, and what we should be hitting is about physical goal of 18 was 31 million. Just to date, we've only collected 7.2 million. And the accreditation that we're working on right now, hopefully we'll fix that in the future. Operations summary, it looks like we had a total of all of our sites. We saw almost 14,000 patients in the clinics. ER is seeing about just shy of 2,000 patients. Looks like they're averaging about 95 minutes per stay and 7 minutes to triage. Now we are continuing on with, I know a lot of you see our coding backlog, and that's part of our third-party revenue. We are 85 days out, but the new coding supervisor that we got in first part of December has been making great strides into this. I believe I was told a couple of weeks ago that she was able to pull in about 800,000, and that's with the backlog. And so they're also coding the ones that are previously coming in for off the backlog to make sure we don't create one, and the ones that are currently happening. So we're hoping to cut down from both ends. We are still looking at our accreditation. I've got the entire hospital discussing what we need to do to catch up with our accreditation to make sure we're ready to go. We have requested Joint Commission to come back on the 25th of February to see where we stand. We hope to have all of our projects completed toward accreditation by I believe it's the 18th or the 19th. So we hope that we're ready to go. So we're going to have them come in and have another look at us to see where we stand. Then we are wanting to go ahead and submit that application to CMS in early March. So that way we can get our third-party billing back. We want accreditation. With the closeout or the shutdown this last month, I've made it very clear to staff that that has affected us more, I think, than other areas. We were hearing that a lot of the other hospitals were being paid. That was out of their surplus third-party funds. We didn't have that surplus third-party funds, so our staff weren't getting paid. Now that the shutdown's ended, they're trying to get everyone paid this week. So hopefully that will be taken care of quickly and we can get back to normal. Although you all know that we're only up for until, I think it's estimated the continuing resolution was until the 15th of February. So we hope we don't go back down, but we're trying to get everything in place to where we can continue operations as much as possible. Also, I was told by area office that they were trying to get the allotments of money to the tribe. I believe it was 37% that they were trying to get those out. They're trying to get those out as quickly as possible. So you all should have your allotments as well from area office. So, any questions that you have for me?
Councilman Gibbons?
Ma'am, has the employees been paid? Are they going to be paid retro and brought up to speed, or does it just start from Monday when you came back to work?
I was told that by Thursday, they should be caught up. That's what I was told for the past 2 pay periods that they missed. If any of them didn't get pay period 1 and pay period 2, they should be getting that by Thursday. So the next pay period is pay period 3. That goes in on Saturday, so we should be caught up by then. They're trying to do that right now.
How can this council, this body, help you with getting that the accreditation like yesterday? What seem to be the major obstacles you're facing here?
What mainly we are facing is, it has been long-standing, it's been process issues that we weren't following the rules with CMS. So it's been a lot of, people haven't been following what they were supposed to be doing. A lot of it's projects that the hospital wasn't kept up the way it should have been. So now we're fixing that to make sure that we meet those requirements. CMS and everyone has certain requirements with the sterilization process, with the infection control processes, everything like that, and that's what we're trying to hit. So we're trying to fill those positions and also make sure the staff have enough training and understand what we need to do to reach accreditation to make sure we're going that route. So, I mean, just encouraging everyone to understand that we have to change, we have to improve. I know that we tried to warn you all a few months back that you were going to get a lot of pushback because we're trying to make these positive changes. So a lot of them will probably come your way as complaints toward us, but we want them to improve. We can't, it's obvious by in the past, we haven't done what we needed to do and we need to change.
We've been waiting a long time for you to improve. If you need help, call upon us, please.
Thank you, I appreciate the support.
Councilman Apple.
Yeah, did you make any feasible contingency plans for the coming shutdown, for when he's going to shut down again on the, is it the 14th, 12th?
The 15th is the cutoff date.
15th, okay. Did you, within that time frame, did you get any things that were lacking in that you're going to be working on real quick before he shuts down again?
We're trying to make sure that all of our contracts and everything are in place through past, I mean, because we have some of them that are expiring quickly, we're trying to get those in place so they will carry us through. Hopefully we're not in a month's shutdown again, but we're going to get those all in place. So that's what we were running into, because during the shutdown we can only do what they call accepted activities, which is pretty much life and limb and protection of property. That's all we can do in a shutdown. So we can't even make sure that those are taken care of. So we're trying to get all those paid and caught up and make sure all of our vendors are paid so that we can make sure that we're not behind and don't lose services of any sort if we go down again.
Oglala. Is that it? Motion to approve? Have a second? Second by Councilman Jumping Eagle. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk,
Yes.
Garfield Apple,
Yes?
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Huh.
Vincent Tulance,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
No.
Cora Whitehorse,
No.
Valentina Merdanian is excused, Ryan Jumping Eagle,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yes. Yes.
Chauncey Wilson,
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow,
Nope.
Randy Laisbad,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald,
Yes.
Nakina Mills is excused.
14 yes, 2 no, motion carried. We did have Councilwoman Merdanian and Councilwoman Mills excuse themselves at 3:30. That leaves us with 16 council representatives. We still have a quorum. Thank you, Ms. Asher. At this time, we have the Oglala Sioux Lakota Nursing Home.
Good afternoon. We have our reports.
Oops, that one came out of that one.
Good afternoon, council, new executive board. Welcome. We compiled the report of all the departments and what they do, and I've asked the program directors to come for this meeting, since you're also new and they're new also. I've asked my directors to come today since they've never met most of the council. And I'm Susan Poyer, the administrator. This is Pam McDonald. She is our director of nursing. So if my directors would come up. I think I'm just missing my dietary manager. She had to get dinner ready. They won't always be coming. I just wanted them to come so you'll know who is who runs which department. Introductions.
Hello, my name is Orrin Provost. I'm the maintenance director. I'm sure most of you know who I am.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Shangru. I'm the business office manager.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Knight. I am the admissions coordinator.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chelsea Rando, and I'm the social services director.
Hello, everyone. My name is Portia Means, and I'm the activities director.
And Wade Vasu is on his way. He's our housekeeper. He was doing a little soldering, so he's on his way. Wow. I guess right now we're up to 40 residents, that's the most we've been at so far. And thanks to, we just started the admission coordinator position, which is really contributing to that, so we're happy for that. And I'll let Pam talk a little bit about some of the residents. We can't say names, but we'll just discuss a little bit some of our issues that we have. So, and I want my social service director to visit with you also about the court system again, Craig.
Hi, I'm Pam McDonald. I'm the director of nursing. 40 residents is wonderful. We've just admitted our 40th resident today, and our biggest issue with nursing is dialysis chairs. And I know that's a problem we've been talking about at almost every council meeting.
We have 19 people on a waiting list ready to come home. They cannot come home because we have no chairs, no dialysis chairs. Our medical director advises us not to take them to Chadron because it's too far. So just keep in mind, we have 19 residents, potential residents that are ready to come home. We cannot bring them home because of no dialysis chairs.
That's probably our biggest obstacle, that and the fact that we are not a skilled facility, and I know that I've talked about this before with the old council, so the new council. The difference between a skilled and a non-skilled nursing facility is we cannot take trachs. We can't take anybody on a ventilator. We can't take anybody that has over a stage 3 wound, feeding tubes, things like that. Anybody who needs physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, we can't take those people. People still reapply after they've done their skilled stay. Oh, he needs one. So we reevaluate probably every 3 to 6 months with some people, and we still take the ones that we can. Breaks our heart every time we have to deny someone, but those, like IHS was saying with CMS rules, we're governed by those same rules. So we don't get paid if we're not doing things correctly either, basically. That's what it comes down to.
But on the good note, we had our survey in October. We had only 8 tags, which is great. We are the #1 nursing home on the western side of Nebraska per the surveyors of Nebraska. So in 2 years, we're doing better than we anticipated. I would like Jackie Knight to visit a little bit with you about the process of the whole admission process and how complicated it is, so you can go back to your communities and help them understand a little bit better. Come on, Jack. And her report is in there also, so you always have a reference to fall back on.
Okay, so the first step in the referral process is, of course, we receive the referral, and we receive it from lots of different ways, facilities, hospitals, family members, the person themselves. The next step is we have them complete a resident inquiry form and sign the consent to release medical records form, so their records can be gathered from previous hospitals and facilities that they received care from. So what are some of the records that we require for admission? We require a current health and physical exam. And you would think this is something easy, but we get outdated physical H&Ps. They don't see the importance of having that full current H&P. That ensures that we give them the proper care that they need. We require 3 to 6 months of medical records or nursing notes from all facilities. We require a current medication list, proof that long-term care is medically necessary, and we also gather as much social medical history as we can about them. Let's see. The next step is we have them complete a Nebraska Medicaid application. This is kind of a new process. We used to put them on South Dakota Medicaid and then transition them over into Nebraska Medicaid, but we found a kind of glitch in the system that allows us to, even though they're South Dakota residents, we're still allowed to apply for Nebraska Medicaid for them, and then once they come into the facility, that makes them a Nebraska resident, and our caseworker hits the approval button. There's a lot of steps in between the first step and there. Let me see. Along with the Nebraska Medicaid application, anything that they check yes to on the application needs to be verified, such as bank statements, so their monthly income, vehicles, houses, any kind of life insurance, anything like that. I have a list on here of what's all required. Marital status. They have to be enrolled in a federally recognized tribe. Let's see what else. I think mine's one of the longest reports, guys. Proof of any resources, and proof of any income that is received from other than working. Okay, so we receive those medical records and we give them to our Director of Nursing, Pam. The Director of Nursing reviews those medical records and determines if we can meet the needs of the resident. So as Pam was saying, the first barrier that we have with admissions is skilled nursing care versus non-skilled nursing care. Skilled nursing facility care is typically following a post-acute hospital stay and serves a specific medical rehabilitative purpose, such as therapy, having to be on IV antibiotics, just the multiple things. After those medical needs are met and a person is still requiring assistance, they usually transition over into a non-skilled facility such as ours. And Pam went over the things that the medical issues that we can accept and what we can't accept, so I'm not going to go there. Once our interdisciplinary team has approved the medical records, a pre-admission screening resident review, also called the PASAR, is completed. According to the PASAR Technical Assistance Center website, the PASAR is a federal requirement to help ensure that individuals are not being inappropriately placed in nursing homes for long-term care. A PASAR must be completed before a resident can legally enter a nursing facility.
Example.
So if somebody has a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, with aggressive behaviors, they will pop a level 2. They will read as a level 2 on our PASAR system, and it's because of the type of medication that they're taking. We can't handle a TBI with aggressive behaviors because we don't have the staff for it. Our staff is not trained for it. So that person would do better in a skilled facility. Let me see, where'd we go from there?
And it's not that our staff isn't skilled enough to take care of it. It's the rules that we can't take care of them.
Right? And everybody must be screened. And the purpose of this is to make sure that they don't have a serious mental illness or an intellectual disability, developmental disability, or any other related conditions.
And I think the federal government did that so that people are placed in the right areas.
In the proper type of care unit.
So it's a long process is what we're trying to explain.
Right.
Because 2 years ago it was fill up the nursing home. Well, just through these 2 years, Pam and I especially have come to understand it's a long, lengthy process. I have more rules and regulations than a hospital has to go by. So for my team to only get 8 tags, that says that we're doing something well. And when the state of Nebraska says, Susan, your nursing home is the #1 nursing home on the western side of Nebraska, that tells us that we're abiding by the rules and the regs, we're keeping our place nice and clean, we may, our residents are being kept well. So I wanted them all to write a report on what their department does, so if you have questions, you'll know who to reach out to. And if your community members call you, now you kind of know who to call out to and ask questions. So, and I don't want Jackie to go way into it because it's really
it's very detailed.
And we just we just started this position because it was with social services and it was just too overwhelming. So with the board's approval, they let us get an admission coordinator position. So since Jackie has been and we've gone up like 4 residents within the last 2 months. So the position is greatly needed. And most nursing homes do have an admission coordinator. And then I would like Chelsea, who's brand new. She just graduated. She has her health degree, and she has a nursing background. So she was ideal for the social service director. So they're all a little bit nervous. They're young, I know that. So I'd like Chelsea to talk a little bit about social services, what her day-to-day endeavors are.
So I started on December 24th, so I'm kind of new. So we currently have 40 residents. Day-to-day things such as I do a lot of MDSs. So with that, I'm in charge of doing sections such as C, which are cognitive, D,
Let's go back to what an MDS is. MDS is a minimum data set. It's a CMS requirement that we have to do. That's how we get paid. So she has a little piece of that, and I make double sure that they're all doing these MDSs correctly so we get paid. So she's got a piece, activities has a piece, dietary has a piece, nursing has a piece. So when we say MDS, just keep in mind this shoots into CMS. This is how we get paid, reimbursed from Medicaid.
And that's in your packets.
You'll see that.
So I am in charge of 3 of the sections. So they're kind of broken down into letters. So like I said, C is cognitive, D is moods, and Q is discharging. So these sections I go over with each resident. You get their responses, then they're entered into the MDS system. You know, some can trigger B, which is
The assessment care.
the assessment care, some don't. Majority of the time they don't, unless it's like a significant change in the resident. I also work with, we have a resident council. So the social services director collaborates with the activity department to coordinate resident council meetings. Residents currently meet once a month, and meetings are noted on the activity calendar a month in advance. So our resident council is an independent, organized group of persons living in a facility who meet on a regular basis to discuss concerns, develop suggestions, and plan activities.
So by federal law, we have to have a resident council. The resident council votes themselves in, and I think they set a term limit, like a year, haven't they?
We've mirrored your guys' system.
Yeah.
So got bylaws.
So they have bylaws and articles of incorporation that we've helped with, so we have a council out there too, so we ask that you be kind to us because we have a tough council.
And they're all elders.
And they're elders, and we can't mouth off back.
So our resident council is made up of 4 residential members, which is the president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. So the residents are encouraged to voice concerns that they may have individually or as a group. The nursing facility staff must be invited to attend the meetings, and the purpose of this is so that they can run it without our persuasions. After the resident council meeting has adjourned, the minutes are brought to me, which is the social services director. The social services director is required to properly document each resident council minutes in the survey readiness book. Minutes are then distributed to each department that requires a response based off the resident council minutes. Each department is required a written response within a set time frame required from the social services director. Once responses are received, the social services director documents to ensure that the residents' concerns are addressed properly.
So let's talk about this. So when the resident council has a meeting, they take their own minutes. Their complaints must be filed in our book. If my surveyors walk in and they say, okay, I want to look at your resident council meeting, the minutes, we have to show them, and we
activities, and that's designed for the residents that will come in and don't mind the larger groups. Male, if they're male, are with a lady because she's a female, but that just goes back to our culture. And so I take that into account also. We also reach out to community members and different organizations to come in and spend time with our residents, whether it's visiting. We have wachipis in our multi-purpose room. And so they'll come in and they'll dance, and we have 2 separate groups that do that. We also have someone who will come in and bring their drum. And whether they're singing at the drum or they're just there to listen, it helps bring up those memories. But we also have a lot of church organizations that come in and they'll just visit. And so in the summertime, it's actually our busier time because a lot of people are here to visit. But just like with every department and in healthcare, everything's constantly changing. And so I'm always striving to improve my department and also meet their needs. And so we also encourage self-directed activities. And a lot of our residents like to do traditional crafts, so that's making sure that we have everything on hand so that they can do that. Or if they might need help with something, that we're there to help them whenever we need it. So.
And we just purchased a new bingo board and new cards and the whole shebang, so we do big bingo every day, I tell you.
Yeah, 4 times a week.
and movie nights. We do. We're having a big Super Bowl party Saturday in our theater room, or Sunday in our theater room, and people are welcome to come out. We just ask that you pay $5 for your goodie dish, whatever you have, whatever they have that day.
And then we do that funding for our department, and so we encourage our residents to take that independence and individualize what they want to do, and we just help them get the materials that they need for it. And so they have that ownership of raising that money for their bingo prizes or whatever it is that they want to fundraise for next.
So, yeah, I mean, we're busy, yeah.
Yeah, we're busy.
And I want to invite Tiffany up because she's my business director. The money is another issue. One of the little ladies came to see me today. I want to see the boss, and she went to see the rent lady. I'm the rent lady. So I sent her to the landlord, Tiffany, because she's the business director. So normally it's about $400 to stay at the nursing home. That's an average. The state of Nebraska is going to look at their income resources and say, okay, well, you're going to get $640 this month from SSI or whatnot. So the state of Nebraska is going to determine what you are going to pay to the nursing home, which is all of it but $60. So they have the $60. But keep in mind, the residents don't have to purchase anything. We provide everything for them except maybe some of their clothing. If they want something in particular, we ask the family maybe to get that, but they don't have to buy anything. So the $60 they like to take on their casino trips. But I want Tiffany to explain a little bit where this money goes, where our bank is, and et cetera. You don't need to read it, just tell them what you do.
The Nebraska DHHS and CMS determine the share of cost and so anybody receiving Social Security disability, retirement, spouses benefits, they have the share of cost. And the ones that have SSI, they're just on disability, they only receive $30 a month, and then our social services director will apply for a AABD grant, aid to aged, blind, and disabled, and they get another $30. So they'll get $60, the same as the rest of the residents. And we have First National Bank is where our resident trust fund. We have that in place, and that's where we keep the funds. And we have a software called PCC, and we keep track of each individual's residence on that software, so we know how much money each one has.
Our point-click care system is our medical record system, and it all shoots down to Lincoln to our corporate office. But point-click care, PCC, we can go in there, we can see the money, what they've got, but by law, we have to put this money into an interest-bearing account, which is in Gordon, Nebraska, the First National Bank. They have a resident trust account. So today a lady came and she had $250 in her account, so she can get some money out anytime she'd like. But by law, that money has to be in an interest-growing account. That's a federal law. And then we also have our operations account over there in First National Bank. But I just like people to understand when they bring their mother in, or their father, or their loved one, the state of Nebraska determines their share of cost, and they'll determine that, and they'll keep 60 for them, and Medicaid will pick up the rest. And keep in mind, it's about $400 a day to be in there, so Medicaid will pay. So that's why it's critical that we document everything, so the MDS will generate that money and we receive it back to keep us going. I hope that makes sense. It's a process. And when I first went in, I didn't realize how difficult, but now we're starting to smooth things out and it's getting easier. So, yeah, so it's getting there. Yeah. And in our company, Native American Health Management, we have taken over Cheyenne River now. We're going to manage them. We've taken over Rosebud. We're going to take over probably Sisseton and the Kickapoo tribe in Texas. So a lot of the other tribes are watching us and seeing where we're going, and they can do exactly what we're doing. And unfortunately, like Cheyenne River, they were paying $100,000 a month just to keep them going. So now that they're coming on board with us, I think they'll start to smooth out too. And that's our goal. We want all tribes to have their own nursing home. It doesn't cost us, but it's going to cost Uncle Sam. And I want to have Orrin come up here, because without Orrin, I'd be lost. I mean, I have this generator out there. I'm like, I don't even know what that machine is, so I want him to visit a little bit. Come on, Orrin. And you all know Orrin. I stole him from the tribe. Didn't I? I think I did. He knows everything. They're laughing.
I'm pretty sure all of you guys kind of know what the maintenance part of the buildings are.
Well, tell him about your propane tank.
I got a big giant propane tank. And we can eat that son of a gun up in about a month's time with this cold weather going on like that. Anyway, I got kind of daily, weekly, and monthly things that I got to check off every day. I got to check my hot water heaters, make sure we can't go over 110, and the resident rooms are in the bathhouse. So you got to monitor the hot water heaters every day. First of the month, I got a generator that comes on. It comes under load. It runs the whole building. It could probably run the whole Pine Ridge if we wanted to. I got a lift station I got to clean out once a month. Jeez, I could go on and on.
Orrin has to abide by the fire marshal and by the surveyors. He's got more rules and regs than the nurses probably. He gets upset with me because I say you have to go check all the outlets. And he said, why do I have to do that? I said, because that is a rule and regulation and we do it. So I think he's doing really well, you know. I think
if you got power there, it's working. It's off, but you got to go around.
And our temperatures on that water, he has to.
They can
every day he has to tap that water to make sure that our temps are where they should be. You have to go into a room and see what the room is. How warm is the room? So where do you measure that heat? You have to measure that heat in the center of that room. So he has checklists for these things. He has to do everything.
You got door checks you got to go through. There's fire doors out there. You can't have an eighth of an inch in between there. It's like a fire. Smoke goes through it. They got so many rules.
Nursing homes are the most regulated health facilities in America. So I think we're doing pretty good. for 2 years, but they all have a checklist and they do their job every day and they're doing a great job. So I wanted the council to understand how busy we are out there. And they're doing a great job. I'm proud of all of them. I wanted Wade to come because he's my housekeeper and he has a checklist and he goes through every wing, every room. They dust every single day, and I walk around. I believe in leaders walking around, and I'm one of them. I'm a leader that walks around, and if I catch something, they'll get dinged by me. And we just correct it, and then we move on. So
she's worse than our survey.
well, I don't want to fail. We're not going to fail, and I'm going to prove it. So we walk, and they're doing a great job. I hired a new certified dietary manager. To be a cook in a nursing home, you just don't be a cook. You have to be a certified dietary manager. And if everybody's listening out there, enroll members, it's 11 months online course out of the Southeast Community College in Lincoln. It's online. There's no Native Americans certified dietary managers. So I have to bring in a non-Native, and she's going to start Monday. So if you know of anybody, it's a great job. I think it is. If I have the dietitian that says, Mr. So-and-so is on a 2-gram salt-restricted diet, that dietary manager has got to be able to provide that. So, and I keep going out there and out there and out there. It's an 11-month online course, certified dietary manager course. We start at $25 an hour with no experience. So if you know of anybody, you know, we could always hire. So I have, we have a nutritionist, a dietary manager, I've got cooks, and then I've got dietary aides. And we have a restorative dining area. Now this is a little complicated also. We cannot bill physical therapy, occupational, but we can bill restorative. So that's the way we get around it. So Pam, you want to come and talk about the restorative dietary room. And when we built the nursing home, we didn't realize we need 2 dining areas, so we combined our physical therapy room into a restorative dining.
So restorative therapy is just to maintain the level that the residents are at. We're not getting them better, we're only making them maintain. In the dietary, or in the restorative dining, dietary brings in the meals. There's more interaction with the aides. So if somebody just needs cueing, we're going to go, oh, take a bite. You know, we're going to have those conversations. If somebody cannot physically lift their spoon, we're going to assist them to eat. Believe me, no one at the nursing home has had significant weight losses unless it's medical. They like the food. I like the food, as you can tell. And so it just helps them keep that level of where they are. So if they come into the nursing home and they have had a stroke or something like that and cannot use little silverware like we use, we have built up silverware that has the big handles that they can handle. So there's different things that we do back there. We have 16 of our 40 residents back in restorative dining. And they're doing great. They like the smaller room. They say it's more home-like than the big dining room. And so they're eating better.
And there's another key that I learned through all this study, and I'm constantly reading. Red tablecloths will make you eat more. So I have red tablecloths in there. So just a FYI for all of you.
And really, I mean, it's a proven fact that red makes you hungry. I don't know why.
What color doesn't make you hungry?
I've been trying to figure that one out.
What color doesn't make you hungry?
Because I wear a lot of red and blue. I'm thinking those are the wrong colors. But restorative is a great program because if they're on 2 restorative programs, so they're on range of motion. We're going to do range of motion, and they're in the dining. We get paid more for that through CMS. We we can get paid extra for that because we're giving them that little bit of extra care. So I have 3 restorative aides and then a restorative nurse who's an LPN, and she has a lot of experience in that. She also is our wound nurse, our wound and skin. I can't say wound because we don't have anybody with wounds. We have surgical wounds, and then like a shear, like blisters or abrasions or something like that. We don't have a lot of skin issues out at the nursing home, which is great. I've worked in many, many, many nursing homes, and this is the only nursing home I've ever been in that the skin is not a big problem. Yes, we do have some issues, but not anything that we can't handle.
Tough.
It's a great place to work.
And the memory unit is up, and I mean, it's going up now, they're building it. But in this case, on this wing, we had a big say in how it's going to be built, because the nursing home now, we, like in our dining area, we have a lip that the architects never ever should have put in there. One of our elders fell on that lip, so they're going to pull that whole flooring out. There's just a lot of things in the nursing home that never should have been built the way they were built, but it is what it is. So this new wing that we're building, we had a say-so in the building of it. So this should be done next spring, and it's going to be a 12-bed memory unit for dementia, Alzheimer's, progressions, you know, so that, and it's not like a lockdown unit. They will never be locked down, but they'll just have more one-on-one care. So that should happen in a year. And so we'll need more staff for that. So we're always looking for nurses.
Nurse aides.
Nurse aides.
Nurse aides.
And like anything, you know,
More
we
nurse
have our
aides.
ups and downs, our problems, so we're doing fine. I'm trying to think what's coming up next. They go to bingo. I take them out. We take them to the casino once a month, isn't it, Portia?
Every other month.
Or every other month, and then they go to Walmart in
the opposite month.
And you got the calendar. And we just ordered another van, and this van is going to be able to put 4 wheelchairs in her, so it's going to be bigger and better, and so we'll get around. But I always, every time I come in front of the council, I always say I need some help. And I look at some of the ones that have been here before, and they know what I'm going to ask for. I'm just always asking, I need more dialysis chairs. It makes my heart hurt that 19 want to come home and I can't get them home because there's no dialysis chairs. But I do have some names, some companies that maybe HHS can reach out to and see if they'll be willing to maybe build over there where we are and still be in Nebraska, you know, I don't know. There has to be a way. Well, we've been going through this.
Like, for example, this month, for January, we've received 23 referrals. 6 of them are requiring dialysis chairs. So, I mean, that just gives you a pretty good, and that's kind of a smaller number than what I'm used to. I mean, it's usually around 10 to 12 people that we're denying because they don't have that dialysis chair here.
And the reason we don't go to Shadron or Sharp's Corner is because if there's a snowstorm and we can't get them to dialysis and it's a Friday and it goes until Monday, they're waiting until Wednesday to dialyze. And that is not healthy for them. So we're not taking that chance on their life that there's not going to be a snowstorm in the middle of the winter, which we know there always is. And going to Shadron, going to Sharp's Corner, you're going to have to take them over there. You're going to have staff sitting there waiting for them. So it could be an hour, it could be 3 hours, depending on how long they dialyze. And if they take more than one person over to dialyze, one person gets off early, then that person has to sit there until the other ones are done to bring them home. Dialysis is very draining. We don't want them sitting there waiting for somebody else. So if we can get, and Shadron, Alliance, I don't know if Valentine has a dialysis unit, but those are the closest ones. And that's just a long ways to go. Very long.
But I have some contacts, and I'll share that with you, Julian, on some companies that are nationwide, national. They're big. Maybe you guys can negotiate. Maybe I think it'd be ideal if they would build something next to the nursing home. You know, I don't know. It'd be ideal. You just take them there and come home. You know.
Right. So
I'll share that with you, Julian. And let's talk about the court system, Craig. Okay. So a lot of, well, not a lot, but a few of our residents are court ordered. So we do care plans. We always ask family members to come to the care plan meetings so we know what their needs are or whatnot. So Chelsea is having a difficult time with the court system. We call and we call and we call and we call and we call. And in the end, this worries me a bit. I don't know if this will hurt me with CMS, but it just doesn't look good. I would like to have someone, just one person that we can work with in the court system just for us. Now, I don't know if that's possible, but I would just like to throw that out there. Just one person just to help us.
Mr. Dillon.
You know, in the past, this was a major problem, and I see it's getting back to that again. We should assign someone from the court that works in the courthouse to answer those questions and help this process along. Because a lot of times when you call a courthouse, you get put on hold and then it goes blank, you know. And maybe, Mr. Chairman, out of your office, we can contact somebody out there at the courthouse and give them a directive to work hand in hand with the nursing home to get our people back to the nursing home. A lot of times the elder is court ordered to a certain facility from our court. And hopefully we can get that reversed and get them people back where they'll be in their environment where they want to be. So hopefully, I'd like to make a motion when this is done that we get somebody out of your office to do that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We'll just run it now, huh? I got a motion. Second by Councilman Meeks. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk, Garfield Apple,
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Vincent Tulance,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse,
Yes.
Ryan Jumping Eagle,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Chauncey Wilson,
You betcha.
Philip Goodcrow,
Oh.
Randy Laisbeth,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
$16 yes, 0 no, 0 not voting, unanimous, motion carried. Continue with your report, please.
Thank you, and
Are you
Chelsea will be reaching out to your office.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
Thank
give you till next week.
Okay.
Okay.
I also, I have a question about your calendar.
Yes, Portia?
Do you guys have men and women in your facility?
Who?
Men and women in your facility?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
How
Right
come-
now, we're sitting at 21 female and I believe 18 male.
How come every day the ladies get an outing but the men don't?
I think the ladies are the smokers.
Yeah, that's our smoker outing, and we have ladies that like to smoke. So in order to, I don't want to put smoking, so I just kind of jazzed it up with ladies outing, so.
Okay, I was just gonna make sure you don't forget the men and
No.
take them on an outing too. Okay, thank you very much. We have a motion, or Councilwoman Little Hawk Weston?
I just wanted to make a motion to approve the Oglala Sioux Lakota Nursing Home Report.
Got a motion? I got a question.
Ma'am, should one of our elders develop diabetes where they need dialysis? So what happens then? You're not referring them elsewhere, are you?
They will probably have to leave our facility and go into a skilled facility where there's a dialysis place, Rapid City. They would probably have to leave.
Has that happened?
Not yet.
Thank goodness.
Councilwoman Little Hawk Weston.
You know, I think that I think maybe the HHS committee should start doing is start looking into maybe trying to bring our own dialysis center, like she was saying earlier, put it beside the nursing home, you know, somewhere where they could just go dialyze, because, you know, they can't go all the way to Sharps or they can't go clear to Shadron. So I think that's something that needs to be worked on, but maybe through HHS committee, they can do that. But I motion to approve that report.
Okay, got a motion by Councilwoman Little Hawk Weston, second by Councilwoman Bearkiller.
Any questions for any of my directors before we close?
Motion to approve. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk,
Yes.
Garfield Apple,
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Vincent Tulent,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse,
Yes.
Ryan Jumping Eagle,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Chauncey Wilson,
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow,
Oh.
Randy Laisbed,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
16 yes, unanimous. Motion carried. Do we have the HR department? I don't see anybody here from the HR department. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Whitehorse.
The HR director had asked to be excused today. Craig already notified the secretary.
Okay.
But she emails us a report monthly, her written report, so I'm just gonna make a motion to approve her written report.
I got a motion and I got a second. Councilman Dillon. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk,
Yes.
Garfield Apple,
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Vincent Tulent,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse,
Yes.
excused. Ryan Jumping Eagle,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Chauncey Wilson,
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow, Randy Laisbed,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
16 yes, unanimous, motion carried. Council, at this time, they're not on the agenda. I spoke with Mr. Long earlier, and we still have Jewel Purdy Weasel here. If they can just, I asked them to come up and just give us a briefing on how the BIA is moving forward. I know Mr. Long wanted to get some information out there for the listeners. So at this time, I'll ask her to come forward and just give us a briefing on how the BIA is moving forward since the shutdown.
Good afternoon, President and the Tribal Council. My name is Jewel Purdy Weasel. For those who do not know me, we had been shut down since December 22nd, and we just opened up again on January, this past Saturday. So we came back to work, and we've got a lot of backlog from all the work that wasn't done. And the priority for us in the Office of the Special Trustee was to get everything together for the Shakopee loan payment and for the FSA loan payment. And so that's what we're going to be working on tomorrow, immediately. As for the authorization form, I just need 2 more signatures, and then it'll be valid. We can't send any payments in without that form. So that's all I need is the 2 signatures.
Those 2 signatures, that's, whose do you need, the 5th member and?
The 5th member and Darla.
And the Vice President, okay.
So when we had the shutdown, we couldn't communicate with anybody. It was illegal for us to communicate. So that was the biggest problem that we had. And we were considered non-essential employees. So we were furloughed. We couldn't work at all. And I guess everything was at a standstill when we became furloughed, because the Albuquerque office of the Special Trustee in Albuquerque said that they couldn't do anything until the Pine Ridge office of the Special Trustee was on board working again. So that was a big problem. As far as my employees and myself are concerned, we were told by headquarters in Albuquerque that our pay period 1 is going to be paid tomorrow. So we'll be made whole on pay period 1, well, actually about 80%. And then pay period 2 is going to be paid on February 1st. So that's where we're at right now as far as the shutdown effects of the shutdown. And then let's see, the one thing that I'm requesting from the tribe is the letter from Jonathan Canis, who is the General Counsel for the Ochete Shakowin Power Administration for the 2018 drawdown authorization from that business. I haven't received that. I was told about it. Back in November, I think it was November 30th, James, I met with the E and BDC at the casino, and we talked about the October 17th letter from Mr. Canis. And so at that time we talked about the drawdown for the 2017 amount, which was $131,485. And then there was a resolution that came across my desk to draw down $500,000. So I was a bit confused on the amount, what to draw down. So I guess I needed some clarification on that. Okay. So it'll be taken back to the committee, and then you'll let me know. Okay. I have to see the amounts.
We can take this back to committee and then readdress it, because I thought we took care of that in that committee meeting at that time. But if there's still if you're still not clear on this, then I think we need to just resolve this, because I don't think this even should be, here on your report. But if there's not, if it isn't, there's just some questions on it, then we can deal with it in the committee.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Pretty Weasel.
Okay, that's about all I have. Do you have any questions?
No. Oh. Councilman Dillon?
Motion to approve a report.
Got a motion and a second by Councilwoman Little Hawk Weston. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks,
Yes. Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk,
Yes.
Garfield Apple,
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Vincent Toulant,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse,
Yes.
Ryan Jumping Eagle excused, Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Chauncey Wilson, Philip Goodcrow,
Nope.
Randy Laisbad, Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
14 yes, 1 not voting, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Moving on, number 11, OST Finance Committee. The resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving the contract with Morrison and Marley for the amount of $238,927 for the scope of work for the EDA wastewater grant number 05-79-05834 includes services preliminary engineering reports for 6 existing wastewater treatment facilities for the Oglala Sioux Tribe Water and Sewer Program.
Okay, should I read it? Resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving the contract with Morrison Merrily for the amount of $238,927 for the scope of work for the EDA wastewater grant. Number 05-79-05834 includes services and preliminary engineering reports for 6 existing wastewater treatment facilities for the Oglala Sioux Tribe Water and Sewer Program. Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe has adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum vote on December 10, 1935, in accordance with Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934. Under Article 3, Section 1 of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Constitution, the Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. And whereas under Article 4, Section 1F, the Oglala Sioux Tribe's Constitution, the Oglala Sioux Tribe has legislative authority to manage all economic affairs and enterprises of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. And whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe has accepted funding from the Economic Development Administration for the amount of $240,000 with $1,073 for contingency. And whereas a request for the aforementioned services was approved, reviewed, and selected in accordance with the Oglala Sioux Tribe procurement policies and procedures. And whereas all of the services for Morrison and Merrily for the scope of work for the EDA wastewater grant include services and preliminary engineering reports for 6 existing wastewater treatment facilities. And whereas the EDA wastewater grant services were advertised and selected on September 5th, 2018. Now therefore be it resolved that the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council hereby approves the contract with Morrison and Merrily for the amount of $238,927 and for the scope of work for the EDA wastewater grant number 05-79-0583, which includes services and preliminary engineering reports for 6 existing wastewater treatment facilities for the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council for approval. And therefore be it resolved that the Oglala Sioux Tribal President is hereby authorized and directed to execute the contract on behalf of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. Motion to approve.
You got a motion? Second by Councilman Apple. Secretary, call for the vote.
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk,
Yes.
Garfield Apple,
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Huh.
Vincent Tulance,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Chancey Wilson,
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow,
Oh.
Randy Laysbad,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald,
Yes.
15 yes, unanimous, motion carried. Part B of the Finance Committee resolution of the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving the 2019 fringe benefits rate schedule for the Oglala Sioux Tribe at 33.1%.
Thank you. Resolution of the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving the 2019 fringe benefits rate policy and schedule, right? Is that how it goes, Jennifer? Yeah. For the Oglala Sioux Tribe at 33.01%. Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum vote on December 14th, 1935, in accordance with Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934 and under Article 3 of the Constitution, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. And whereas pursuant to the Constitution and bylaws of the Oglala Sioux Tribe, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council exercises legislative powers to enact and promulgate resolutions and ordinances. And whereas Article 4, Section 1L of the Constitution gives the Tribal Council the power to delegate its enumerated powers to subordinate boards or officers, reserving the right to review their actions taken by virtue of such delegated power. And whereas the Finance Committee is a standing committee of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council and has been delegated the power to oversee financial matters relating to, on behalf of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council and Oglala Oyate. Whereas on January 10, 2019, by motion and vote, the Finance Committee approved the fringe benefits rate for 2019 for the Oglala Sioux Tribe and the and the policy and schedule of which is attached hereto. That I'll explain in a second. Whereas the Finance Committee presented the fringe benefits rate to the Tribal Council for approval, and the Tribal Council finds the rate acceptable. Now therefore be it resolved that the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe hereby approves the 2019 fringe benefits rate for the Oglala Sioux Tribe at 33.01%, and the policy and schedule of which is attached hereto. The narrative, it's we had to change the wording. Instead of calling it a breakdown, we had to call it a policy. So that's why I changed it, edited it in the resolution. So motion to approve with amendments.
Got a motion to approve, second by Councilwoman Little Hawk Weston. Secretary call for the vote.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk,
Yes.
Garfield Apple,
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Huh.
Vincent Tulance,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Chancey Wilson,
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow,
Oh.
Randy Laysbad,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
15 yes, unanimous, motion carried.
Mr. President,
Yes.
C and D under this agenda were already taken care of by XB. C and D.
Yes, they were. Okay, so moving on, C and D were covered in XB. So 12, the OST HHS Committee. Part A, resolution of the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving the contract change order number 1 for the Han construction for the winter suspension for the contract for 136 days and revised completion date of June 18, 2019 due to winter weather conditions and frozen ground. Somebody from HHS read the resolution, or? Okay, we'll have the secretary read the resolution.
Resolution of the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving the contract change order number 1 for the Han construction for a winter suspension of the contract for 136 days and a revised completion date of June 18, 2019 due to winter weather conditions and frozen ground. Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum vote on December 14, 1935, in accordance with the Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, 25 USC subsection 5123, and under Article 3 of the Constitution, and the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. And whereas the Tribal Council authorizes the Tribal Council in Article 4, Section 1A to negotiate with the federal government on behalf of the tribe on all activities that may affect the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, and with Section W authorizes the tribe to protect and promote the health and general welfare of the tribe and its membership. Whereas the Health and Human Services Committee, HHS Committee, is a standing committee of the Tribal Council and that oversees the Indian Health Service, IHS, Martin Office, sanitation facilities, construction contracts, and whereas Han Construction, Martin, South Dakota, was awarded the contract PR 2018-SW-1 for construction of the Red Shirt Landfill Phase 2 expansion in the amount of $518,220. And whereas contract change order number 1 approves winter suspension for Han Construction's contract for 136 days from November 30th to April 15th, 2019 due to the cold weather and frozen ground. And whereas the Health and Human Services Committee of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council met on the 8th day of January 2019 and voted to forward the final approval of the contract change order number 1 with the Han Construction to the full Tribal Council. Now therefore be it resolved, the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe hereby approves the attached contract order number 1 is herein stated, and be it further resolved that the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe authorizes the President and or Vice President of the tribe to sign documents necessary to execute the contract change order number 1. Certification.
Motion by Councilwoman Berkeler, second by Councilman Greenwald. Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jim Meeks?
Yes.
Dwayne Yellowhawk?
Yes.
Garfield Apple?
Yes.
Glenn Gibbons?
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller?
Yes.
James Cross? Sonia Little Hawk Weston?
Huh.
Vincent Tulance? Craig Dillon?
Yes.
Cora Whitehorse?
Yes.
Bo Little White Man?
Yes.
Chauncey Wilson?
Yes.
Philip Goodcrow?
Oh.
Randy Laisbad?
Yes.
Richard Greenwald?
Yes.
15 yes, unanimous, motion carried. We'll take a 5-minute break.